Have you ever given so much of yourself to the people you love that you forgot to leave anything for yourself? Have you ever believed that if you just kept showing up, paying the bills, fixing what's broken, holding things together, someone would finally say, "Thank you," only to realize that moment may never come? This isn't a story about money or a house or even a will. This is the story of Bella, a woman who spent years being the glue of her family, the quiet fixer, the dependable daughter, the one who never said no. Until the day she discovered a secret tucked inside a folder of old documents, a secret that would change everything she thought she knew about loyalty, love, and what it really means to be family. What do you do when your sacrifices are erased in a single sentence? When the people who praised your strength use that same strength as a reason to exclude you? Do you keep helping? Do you keep holding on? Or do you finally choose yourself? Today, we dive into a story that may sound all too familiar for some, a story of silent burdens, quiet betrayals, and one woman's decision to walk away from the role she never asked for. Because sometimes, the strongest thing you can do is to stop saving people who never planned to save you. Stay with us. Bella's story might just make you rethink what family really means. Bella had always been the dependable one, the daughter who showed up, rain, snow, or broken heart. Every Sunday, she made the quiet 2-hour drive from her small apartment in Portland to her parents' home in the countryside of Maine, the house she'd helped pay for, the roof she once patched alone in the dead of winter. She didn't do it for recognition. She did it because she believed that's what love looked like. So when her mother, Evelyn, handed her a messy stack of papers that afternoon, asking her to scan them like she always did, Bella didn't think twice. She sat at the familiar oak dining table, same place she had for years, and started sorting. But buried halfway down the pile was a thick, cream-colored envelope. The words "estate plan and will" were printed in bold across the top. She paused. Not because she was curious. At least, that's what she told herself. It was habit, responsibility. The same instinct that had guided every choice she'd ever made for this family. But as she flipped through the pages and reached the section labeled Asset Distribution, her breath caught. Every asset, the house, the savings, the car, even her mother's wedding ring, all of it was left to her younger sister Sierra. And Bella? Not a word, not a name, just a single line. "We love both our daughters." That moment, so quiet, so sharp, was when something inside her finally broke. And what happened next was the beginning of everything changing. Bella stared at the page for a long moment. The dining room felt colder somehow, though nothing had changed. Same creaky ceiling fan above her, same dusty photo frames lining the wall. But everything had shifted. Not outside, inside her. She heard the sliding door open behind her, her mother's gardening clogs tapping softly on the tile. "Did you find the statement?" Evelyn asked casually, wiping dirt from her hands with a dish towel. Bella didn't turn around. She simply raised the will, her voice low and even. "Is this real?" The silence that followed was deafening. Evelyn froze mid-step. Her eyes flicked to the papers in Bella's hand, and then quickly away. "Oh, Bella, that wasn't meant for you to see?" Bella cut in. Her voice was still calm, but it had an edge that hadn't been there before. A lifetime of showing up, of paying for repairs, delivering prescriptions, covering the mortgage quietly. "And you didn't even include my name?" Her father, Greg, appeared in the doorway, sipping his afternoon coffee like it was any other day. "You're overreacting," he said with a tired sigh. "You're doing fine. Sierra's still figuring things out. She needs more help." Bella let out a short, hollow laugh. "Figuring things out? She's 34 and still doesn't know how to keep a job for more than 6 months." She turned to face both of them fully now. "I didn't need to be thanked. I didn't even need anything left to me. But to be erased?" Her mother stepped forward, laying a gentle hand on Bella's arm. "We just wanted your sister to feel secure." Bella pulled away. "And what about me?" she whispered. "Who's ever made sure I felt secure?" No one had an answer, and that was her answer. She placed the will back on the table, slowly, deliberately, then walked to the door. No one followed her. For the first time in years, She didn't feel angry. She felt done. 2 weeks passed. No calls, no messages, not a single word from her parents or Sierra. Bella told herself if they had even an ounce of remorse, they'd reach out. But instead, one morning, her phone buzzed with a message from her father. "Bella, the mortgage is due Friday. Can you transfer it soon?" No mention of the will, no acknowledgement of what had happened, just a request, as if nothing had changed. She stared at the screen, a cold calm settling over her. Her reply was short. "Sierra can handle it. The house is hers now, right?" 10 minutes later, another message, this time from her mother. "Bella, don't do this. We need to talk." She didn't reply. Not out of spite, but because she'd already said everything that mattered. Later that night, her phone lit up again. This time, it was Sierra. "You're overreacting. Mom and Dad didn't mean it like that. You've always been independent." "I'm not. You know that." Bella typed slowly, every word precise. "Then prove you deserve what you've been given. Start by paying the mortgage." No response. Just silence. And strangely, it felt like the first real moment of peace she'd had in years. The next morning, Bella woke up with a strange lightness in her chest. She brewed her coffee, watched the steam curl in the quiet kitchen, and realized something simple but profound. She didn't owe them anything anymore. That same day, she called the bank and requested her name be removed from the joint mortgage account. Then she contacted the utility companies and canceled every automatic payment she had set up over the years: water, electric, internet, insurance. She deleted the reminder apps from her phone, small taps, but each one felt like breaking free from invisible chains. That evening, she picked up a chocolate cake from the corner bakery. The kind she always used to skip because there was always something more important: a water heater to fix, a bill to cover, a sister's broken car to fund. She lit a candle for no reason, a soft, private celebration, not of revenge, but of return. For the first time in years, she slept deeply. No alerts, no dread, no imaginary list of who she needed to save next. The following morning, her phone buzzed again. This time, it was a transfer request from her mother, $2,900, no message. Just numbers, like she was a bank, not a daughter. Bella declined without hesitation. Seconds later, her phone rang. She let it ring, then declined. Another message arrived. "Bella, why did you decline?" Her reply was simple. "Because it's no longer my responsibility. Ask Sierra." And with that, she put her phone face down and took another sip of coffee. Still warm, just like the quiet power building inside her. A week later, Bella's coworker messaged her. "Have you seen your mom's Facebook? You might want to check." With hesitant fingers, Bella searched her mother's profile. There it was, a photo of their old house captioned, "Heartbreaking when your own daughter turns her back on family during their time of need." Over 70 shares, dozens of comments calling her ungrateful. Her father posted next, "Bella used to care about family. Now she's silent while we lose everything." Then Sierra chimed in. "Some people love being the hero, until they're actually asked to help." Bella didn't cry. She didn't rage. She logged into her own Facebook, for the first time in months, and made one post. She attached photos of the will, mortgage statements, and messages asking for money. Her final line? "My silence wasn't guilt. It was grace. But here's the truth." And then, she hit post. Within minutes, Bella's post started spreading. Old friends commented first, "I had no idea you went through all this." "You've always been the one holding everything together." People who had known her parents were stunned. "Sierra was always reckless. This finally makes sense. No one should be treated like a bank account, not even by family." The tone shifted fast. Sympathy faded from her parents' post and began to pour in for Bella. 2 days later, her mother quietly deleted her post. Her father deactivated his account. Sierra changed her profile picture to a black and white flower, her signature move when things spiraled. Bella didn't say another word online. She didn't need to. The truth had been seen, and more importantly, it had stood. For the first time, she didn't feel like she had to explain or defend herself. Justice didn't always come as an apology. Sometimes it came as silence, the kind that follows when the truth finally has room to breathe. Bella sat back, closed her laptop, and exhaled. She wasn't angry anymore. She was free. Bella didn't waste time dwelling on the aftermath. With the heavy weight of guilt and resentment lifted, she began crafting a life of her own. She enrolled in a culinary course, something she'd always wanted to do but was too busy playing the role of caregiver. She started small, baking cookies and selling them at the local farmer's market. The work was hard, but it was hers. Slowly, she rebuilt the friendships that had been neglected over the years. She reconnected with old friends who had drifted away, their bond strengthened by her courage to take control of her story, and most importantly, she found herself. Her laughter was louder, her joy more genuine. The woman who had once been trapped in obligation and fear was now chasing her dreams, no longer bound by family expectations or past mistakes. Bella didn't just recover, she thrived. And as her business grew, so did her confidence. She was no longer living in the shadow of others. She was the one creating her light. One crisp Saturday morning, Bella set up a table at the local artisan market, fresh-baked pastries, handmade signage, and a smile that felt real for the first time in years. A woman browsing nearby paused, looking at the Bella's Table sign. "Are you the one who posted that story about family and the will?" Bella hesitated, then nodded. The woman smiled gently. "Thank you for saying what so many of us have only felt in silence." That single comment stayed with Bella all day. It wasn't just about baking anymore. It was about voice, truth, healing. She began journaling regularly, even drafting a memoir, her story, on her terms. And while her parents' house remained unsold and Sierra continued drifting between obligations, Bella didn't look back. Because peace, she realized, isn't something you wait for someone else to give you. It's something you give yourself. And Bella had finally done just that. Months later, Bella found herself walking along the rocky shoreline near Camden, the sea breeze cool against her face, her camera slung over one shoulder. She paused to snap a photo, soft light glinting off the water, a lone sailboat drifting toward the horizon. This was her life now. Quiet, honest, uncomplicated. There were no more frantic texts, no guilt-laced phone calls, no expectations hanging over her head like invisible chains, just space. Space to breathe, to grow, to be. Her parents never reached out again. Sierra didn't apologize, but Bella no longer waited for either. She had grieved the love she thought she was owed. Now she honored the love she chose to give, to herself. As she sat on a worn bench overlooking the bay, she opened her journal and wrote one line. "Family isn't who needs you most. It's who sees you clearly and values you anyway." And as the sun dipped below the horizon, Bella smiled. She wasn't just free, she was whole. A year later, Bella stood inside a small local gallery where her first photo exhibit had just opened. The walls were lined with images that told quiet stories, cracked sidewalks with blooming wildflowers, sunlit windows of empty rooms, old hands cradling warm coffee cups. Each photo, in some way, reflected a piece of her journey. People walked by, pausing, absorbing. One middle-aged woman approached her with glassy eyes and whispered, "I don't know why, but your photos, they feel like someone finally understands." Bella nodded softly. She did understand. For so long, she had been the one who fixed things in silence. Now, her silence had turned into expression, into art, into purpose. She no longer needed validation. She no longer feared being forgotten. She had chosen herself again and again until that choice felt like home. Looking around the gallery, at the stories on the walls and the space she had claimed for herself, Bella felt something she hadn't felt in years. Peace. Not the kind that comes from pleasing others, but the kind that rises when you finally say, "I matter, even if no one else ever said it. What do you think about Bella's decision? Was she too harsh, or finally protecting her peace? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to follow the channel for more real, powerful stories that stay with you.